The best way to feel empowered is building confidence. It's a cheat code. And the only thing holding you back from growing that confidence as a leader is practicing the strategies that will give you that confidence. A lot of practice and understanding the logic behind those strategies, of course. So I'm going to break down the 6 strategies that served me the most to build my confidence as a leader. By the way, I am Ruth, and I have returned more than $100 million in savings and cash gains to top companies in America. And now I teach other leaders how to do the same. So you have stepped into a leadership role and suddenly everything feels bigger. The pressure is on, your team is looking to you, and inside you're wondering, am I really cut out for this? If you feel like you are over your head, you're not alone. When we are first-time leaders, we feel overwhelmed, questioning if we have what it takes. But here's the truth, confidence can be built one step at a time. So if you're ready to go from feeling overwhelmed to empowered, let's learn the 6 strategies. The first strategy is understanding persuasion principles. This was one of the biggest game changers for me as a leader, knowing how to influence others and guiding people towards the right actions. Seeing results through your people will grow your empowerment because you will understand everything you can do. Having the skill to convince people to deliver those results by influencing them is a foundational skill because as a leader, you're no longer giving results on your own. You're giving results through your team. Robert Cialdini, a psychologist, researcher, and author of the bestseller Persuasion Principles, concluded after years of sales research that there are 7 persuasion principles. By the way, I have a summary of the 100 most important books for leaders. You can get the summary in the link of the video's description. The first principle is reciprocity. This is when people feel obligated to return favors or kindness, and this is a cultural thing. Most parents teach their children to reciprocate favors. If your neighbor invites you to lunch, you feel you must invite them to it next time. So, as a leader, giving meaningful gestures can inspire your team to get the extra mile. This could be recognizing someone's hard work publicly or helping them when they are struggling. When one of my team members is overwhelmed with a tight deadline, instead of simply expecting them to figure it out, I try to step in to offer assistance and even took a small part of the workload off their plate whenever I can. When I do these small gestures, people return it with loyalty, extra hours when we have a lot of things to do, excellence in their delivery, and great attitude and feedback towards me. The second principle is commitment and consistency. We strive to be consistent with our past actions or commitments. To exemplify this, the book mentions this very interesting study where researchers approach homeowners in a California neighborhood and ask them to place a small 3-inch square sign in their window that said, "Be a safe driver." Most homeowners agreed to this small community request, but then 2 weeks later, the same homeowners were approached again. This time, they were asked to put a much larger billboard in their front yard that read, "Drive carefully." 66% of the homeowners who first agreed to the small sign agreed to put up the large billboard, while only 17 of the control group agreed to put up the billboard when they were asked without having any prior requests made to them. The difference is massive. We want to be consistent with what we declared we are, or with what we think we are or identify ourselves with. From a leadership standpoint, you can have public objectives, similar to the OKRs, Objective Key Results, a results strategy framework by Andy Grove. If people declare or have their quarterly goals and commitments public for the whole company, it's more likely for them to comply with them. Another trick could be to get small buy-ins from your team before asking for larger commitments. For example, start by asking team members to agree on a small goal before moving to bigger changes. The next principle is social proof. People look to others to decide what is acceptable, especially in uncertain situations. For example, the most bought menu option in the ice cream stand is the one they indicate you is the most sold. We think if that many people are choosing that option, it must be the best, right? Same dynamic when items have stars rating and reviews. So, as a leader, your strategy to build confidence and influence in your team could be to bond deep with your team members. So new employees or even potential employers that you don't have yet built a good relationship will see that you're a great leader thanks to that word of mouth and reputation that you will be creating. This is great too when you are hiring. If your employees talk wonders about you, it will help you attract top-notch talent. Fourth principle is authority. People are more likely to follow someone they perceive as knowledgeable or credible. We listen to doctors, presidents, or CEOs. So what we can do to build that credibility is to consistently demonstrate our expertise by making informed decisions, researching, listening, and being a compassionate, fair, but effective leader. With time, you will build that authority thanks to gaining their trust with your actions, appreciation, and understanding of their duties, roles, and needs. And actually, that journey of building your own confidence will be a parallel journey to build that trust within your team. The fifth principle is liking. People are more likely to be influenced by those they like and connect with, and with those they know like them. So, as a leader, tell them how much you appreciate them, how much you admire them, or how much you feel lucky to work with them. A very important disclaimer, of course, is that this must be true and authentic. I once had a boss that always told me these things, but it felt so fake. He was a very nice guy, but his words didn't feel genuine. Like, I feel he said the same to everyone else. So if you say the same to everyone, it's not special. You must personalize it, your appreciation and liking messages. For example, John, I truly admire how well you handle tough situations. You never lose your cool nor focus. That's awesome. Be specific and avoid generic compliments that will feel fake and generic. To gain people trust and loyalty, we must be authentic. The more they trust you, the more results they will give you, and the more you will build your own confidence. Also, remember to subscribe to keep learning about amazing leadership strategies. The sixth principle is scarcity. This is when people value things that are rare or limited. This can be triggered with fear of missing out, like Black Friday discounts. So, as a leader, you can create urgency around opportunities or highlight the unique value of particular contributions. For example, explain how a team's input is critical to have the success of a time-sensitive project and how that will position the team or employees as a great successor for X role you know they want. And here it's not about playing tricks. It's about creating plans and strategies where you know your people well enough so you can connect what projects will have the best ROI for them and the company. The final principle is unity. People are more likely to be influenced when they feel a shared identity or belonging. For example, if you are a single working mom and meet another single working mom, you feel like you relate. Or if you both are Chihuahua lovers, or that you both are fans of a very specific romantic novel. So as a leader, what you want to do is to find that common ground with your colleagues and team members. Connect with them at that level so you can build genuine relationships beyond work-related stuff. Foster a sense of we are in this together by emphasizing shared goals and values. Unite your teams under a common mission. That alone will help you a lot to deliver remarkable results with your team. Alright, the second strategy is understanding human psychology. To build confidence and feel empowered, you must deliver results. And as a leader, you no longer deliver results by working your ass off. Great results don't depend on you only. Great results mean working through your people. Thus, things are different now. To deliver results, you must influence, motivate, and understand your people, their desires, strengths, and weaknesses, personality, motivation, goals, and so much more. We must learn what makes each person of our team ticks. And a key lesson for me was when I realized that not two people are motivated by the same thing. For some it's money, for others it's quality time with their team or their family, for others it's information and knowledge or a status or fancy titles. And then we have a different spectrum of about how they like to be appreciated. Some love to have public recognition while others value more private appreciation. Some are driven by rewards and others just want to feel like their work matters. One time I had a team member who was consistently underperforming. At first, I thought it was a lack of skill, but after getting to know them better, I realized their love language at work was words of affirmation. They needed to feel seen and appreciated for their efforts to stay motivated. So I started acknowledging their contributions, big or small, but repetitively, genuinely, and calling out the specific things I admired and thought they were amazing at. Within weeks, I saw a dramatic shift in their performance. Understanding your team's psychology allows you to negotiate and influence in a way that feels like a win-win. When people feel understood, they are more likely to give you their best. Every time I have a new employee, I make them 3 quizzes. One for personality, one for love languages at work, and another one to know what are the resources that that motivates them. But knowing and understanding my people gives me an edge. It allows me to help them win, and thus they will be a very dedicated employee. Everybody wins when you understand the full picture of your employee. You will know how to motivate them, how to influence them, and what are their priorities and their boundaries. Alright, the third strategy is practicing public speaking. Public speaking is one of the scariest things for many leaders, and it was for me too, but it's also one of the most important skills you can develop. Early on, I realized that my delivery in meetings matter as much as my ideas. If I couldn't communicate my vision clearly, no one would buy in. You may have a 10 out of 10 idea, but if your communication is 2 out of 10, people won't see all the greatness of that idea. They will perceive it as a 2 because you don't know how to communicate its value. So I practiced how to communicate a lot. Before every major meeting, I would rehearse my points, I would create visuals that would help me explain my ideas, and I would even record myself to refine my tone and body language. I bought courses and made communication a passion, a constant research for me. One moment I will never forget was my first big presentation to senior leadership. I was nervous, but because I had practiced so much, I delivered with confidence. The feedback I received wasn't just about my ideas, it was about how clear and compelling I made them. Preparation breeds confidence, clarity, and even enjoyment. Alright, the fourth strategy to build confidence as a new leader is by building industry acumen. As a leader, confidence also comes from being informed, because the more you understand the big picture, the better your recommendations, direction, and education to your own unit will be. I knew that if I wanted to make valuable decisions, I needed to understand my industry, not just the surface level things that you manage, but the trends, the history, and the nuances. I made it an habit to read every day. I read newsletters and books about my field. I listened to podcasts and joined industry communities. And over time, this knowledge gave me an edge. When someone asked me for my input in a meeting, I wasn't just guessing. I could back up my suggestions with data and context. That's when I noticed people started seeing me as credible. Confidence isn't just about how you feel, it's about knowing you have something valuable to offer. Alright, the fifth strategy is creating a strong culture and mission. Confidence as a leader doesn't just come from within, it comes from creating an environment where your team thrives. Because confidence will come when you see results. And to get massive results, you need a healthy, thriving culture with values that keep the discipline and required vibe to execute at that level. Because confidence will come when we see results. And to get those massive results, we need a healthy, thriving culture with the values that will help us keep that discipline and the required vibe to execute all those amazing results. As a leader, we get to understand that if our team does not have the clarity on their purpose, we are going to be lost. So I always spend time crafting a mission that aligns with our company's vision but is tailored to my team's role. And I repeat that mission in meetings. I train my team on the values that matter the most, and I publicly appreciate the people who demonstrate the values and explain the impact it gave to the whole team so they understand why it's so important. And of course, I make sure that I am modeling the culture I want to see, whether the culture requires us to be transparent, showing gratitude, or holding ourselves accountable as leaders. You will see, as soon as you start role modeling, your team will slowly live those values as well. And as that culture grows stronger, you will see how that confidence in leading a team will as well grow. Alright, the sixth strategy is fighting for my team. The final piece of the puzzle for me as a new leader was realizing that if building confidence as a leader required my teams to deliver massive results, I had to give them first a lot of value. I had to show them what I could do for them. For example, explaining why my best performer deserved a promotion, fighting for his raise, or standing up to my team when higher-ups questioned their performance, always defending them and taking accountability as their leader, making plans to improve and self-reflect how could I be a better leader for them, always making myself accountable of their missteps while giving them credit of their wins. Being a leader often sucks, but when you are in charge of others, you have a big responsibility. You have to take care of them and guide them, coach them. And the perks of authority, power, and more income come with disadvantage as well, like taking the bullets but giving them the credit when things go well. The truth is that confidence as a leader isn't something that just appears one day. For me, it came from learning persuasion, understanding human psychology, practicing my delivery, building my knowledge, creating a strong team culture, and showing my team I had their back. All of these things didn't just make me a more confident leader, they made me a better one. And that is the secret. The first step in building confidence is believing in yourself. You have what it takes, you just need the tools to unlock it and see it for yourself. If you want personalized help in your leadership journey, check out the video's description. See you around. Bye.